All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Miami Dolphins rookie running back Ollie Gordon. Gordon is quickly becoming a key part of this Dolphins offense. Again, Devon A-Chain is the superstar playmaker, but Gordon plays a key role. We'll break down everything he's doing so well. He reminds me of a former Miami Dolphin tailback in a good way. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help support us so we can do more of them, consider becoming a member of our channel. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's get started with some running game, and there's Ollie Gordon right there lined up in a single back alignment behind Tua, and this is going to be a clever design by the Miami Dolphins. We're going to get this tight end H-back right here, go in motion pre-snap, and then go back out to kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. This tight end heavy tackle right here is working up to linebacker. We're going to get a double team inside, working up to 54. We're going to get a base block here, working up to the next level, base block here, and we're going to get the center right here. Brewer doing a great job on this defensive tackle, and the quarterback is going to open up this direction and hand it off right here, but it's actually a design cutback working this way. So they're trying to influence with a double team action right here to get the linebacker to fill and try and get a really good block, but they're basically reading these three guys. They're trying to get movement this way to dent the defense to get the linebacker to fill this way and have the running back go just like this. It takes a smart, athletic, and fast running back who's a downhill runner for this play to work. It's a great design and a great execution by Gordon. Let's check it out. There's a motion. There's a snap. There's the handoff. There's the hole. Gordon hits it, north and south. Really nice run. Explosive play. You know who Ollie Gordon reminds me of, guys? A little Raheem Mostert action. Very upright, very tall, very explosive. No nonsense runner, and I love that in any running back, certainly a young running back. Again, he just hits the hole, he sees the hole, hits the hole right there, gets into the second level, good speed. You can see the defensive back right there underrates his speed. You can see 39 flying right here. He's like, oh my goodness, Gordon's faster than I thought. He has that separation. Love to see that as well. That breakaway speed is what a lot of scouts, a lot of coaches call it. And this is really well designed, really well blocked from the Dolphins. You can see how the double team inside right here draws Wagner, the linebacker, inside. You can see how Brewer does a great job at the center position. Now there's the crease, right? That's what you got to do. This is one of those plays where you have to hit the hole. You have to hit it aggressively. No jump cuts, nothing crazy. Hit the hole, downhill, north and south. That's what it's all about. Great job here by Ollie Gordon. Again, it's one of those plays that I think a lot of people don't really think about as being important, but it's the difference between, say, a 5-yard run right there getting tackled by the DB and that breakaway speed turning into 20. No nonsense runner. Get north and south. Take advantage of what the offense gives you. Operate in the context of the play. Great job here from Gordon. All right, for the wide copy, you can see the motion from the tight end. You can see the handoff. You can see the crease. Watch how he hits it north and south the entire way. Falls forward across the board. Again, it's a good run. You know, sometimes we look at highlight runs as, oh, how many tackles did you break? You know, how many people did you make miss? And I get it, that's important. But sometimes if the hole's there, man, just hit it and read it right. So you can see the DBs are flying, hit the crease, there it is. Operate in the context of the offense. This is still a well-designed Dolphins offense, and this O-line, Brewer, Paul, Savaiina'a, playing a little bit better, right? These are guys that are starting to figure it out in terms of their blocking up front over the past month. Take advantage of it. You don't have to get cute. Right here, you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to try and break through 2 tackles. Follow your blockers, get up to the next level, and then outrun people for an explosive play. Sometimes good running is simple. It doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be crazy. Just get north and south. Great job here by Gordon. All right, this next play is going to be a power concept from the Miami Dolphins. We're going to get double teams right here, working up to the backside linebacker. We're going to get a down block here. 89 is going to come in motion and kick out the end man on line of scrimmage, and the fullback is going to wrap for the play side linebacker in this situation. And Ollie Gordon is going to take a counter step and then try and hit the hole just like that. But one of the things I love about Gordon here is that when he makes a guy miss in the hole, when he gets up to the level and the linebacker fills, he doesn't try and juke and jank him really close to him. He makes his cut decision early. That's one of the things I love about Gordon's running style. He makes his decision very early on, and he does it assertively. Let's check it out. There's a motion. There's a snap. There's a counter action. Good cut, north and south. Good finish, too. Falling forward, that's one of the other things I like about Gordon. You can see he always finishes forward. Again, not like a powerful finish or anything, doesn't, run over people for an extra 5-6 yards, but he's always about falling forward, an underrated element to playing running back, always going north and south. Right here, does he try and go laterally? Does he try and, let me run, horizontally to the goal line? Maybe I can do something funky. Nope, go north and south. Good finish. Good to see from the young runner. But let's watch when he makes his cut with his blocking. It's really well blocked, but there's a linebacker right there. Does he wait to make his move right when he's on the linebacker? No, he makes his decision literally 4 yards before him, so that way he's well past him. This is one of the things I think young running backs screw up sometimes. They try and hit the hole very aggressively early on, which isn't a bad thing, but then they get up to the defense and it's too late to make a move. Ollie Gordon sees this really big hole, but he doesn't wait to get to the defensive players to make his next cut. He sees the opportunity early and hits it right there. Vision, underrated element of playing running back, and Ollie Gordon so far early in his Dolphins career has showcased a lot of good vision.
Yeah, as we saw the last couple of plays, a big game rushing the ball for Ollie Gordon. Last couple of weeks were kind of slow, disappointing a little bit as far as what he's been able to do, but gets back up this week, does a really great job. Highest yards per carry this game with multiple carries. Don't want to count anything. We only had one carry for like 8 yards, but at 5 yards a carry this game, and he was able to knock in his second touchdown of the season. Ollie Gordon looking really good when he gets carries, rushing the football, doing really good job. Want to see him run the ball a little bit more, but this week, great job by Ollie Gordon.
All right, one thing all running backs, especially young running backs, must do is trust their blockers. And you can see Gordon lined up right behind Tua right here in a pistol alignment, and it's going to be a standard inside zone concept working to the offensive left. So we're going to get a zone base reach over here. We're going to get the left guard to a zone step here before working into the next level. We're going to get a base reach here from the center, and you can see there's a lot of green grass. This exactly is where Ollie Gordon wants to hit, but he's going to see a lot of color right here from the opposition. He's going to see a lot of commanders flash across his face, but he trusts his blockers. He lets them set up before he hits the hole. Really nice job. Good patient runner, good trusting runner. Really important. You got to trust your O-line as a back. If you don't stand a chance. Gordon does. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the inside zone. Trusts his blocks. Falls forward. Good run. So you can see early on in the play right here, he sees linebacker number 4 flash. Does he hesitate? Does he try and cut it back inside too early? Is he worried about 72? Does he try and bounce it outside? Because right here early on, let's go back to the very beginning. He sees number 4 right there, and he sees 72 from Miami, Savaiina, and he's like, listen, the rookie, he's not seeing that linebacker. I'm about to get tattooed. I got to cut it back, or I got to bounce it outside. No, he trusts his guys. Sticks to the hole, falls behind his blockers for a good positive play. You got to trust your blockers, trust your guys. If they screw up, that's on them. Nothing infuriates me more than watching young running backs don't trust their blockers, don't trust their linemen. Because guess what? If 72 doesn't pick him up, that's on the rookie guard. That's on him. And if he does it long enough, he'll get benched, right? Brewer gets on him too, right? Trust your guys. Paul's a good player. Brewer's a good player. Jonas Savaiina is coming along. Long way to go, but he's coming along. Trust your guys. Follow the scheme. Attack the hole. Go north and south. Finish hard. Little things, guys. People want to talk about running backs. Well, what is their 40 time? What is their shuttle time? Can they make people miss? How, do they have a good spin move or a good stiff arm? And I get it. All that's good for the talking heads on ESPN and Fox Sports and all that. I want to see runners trust their blockers, get north and south, and finish hard like we see here. All right, for the wide copy, you can see Gordon in the pistol, gets the handoff. Right there, you can see Savaiina is just now turning inside for the linebacker. Ollie Gordon could have been tempted to cut it outside or maybe cut it back. Instead, he's like, I'm going to trust my guys and hit the hole, and he falls forward too. Little yards after contact, guys. Let's add up the numbers here. One of my favorite things to do. He's contacted right there around the Washington 34.5. Where does he go down? Right around the Washington 31.5. So we're talking 2.5, 3 yards after contact. That's not bad. That's one thing about Ollie Gordon, maybe a little more yards after contact. But I love the fact he's patient. I love how north and south he is. Again, doesn't mess around, trusts his blockers. Sign of a good back in Miami. All right, on the previous play, we talked about Ollie Gordon, and there he is lined up behind Tua in a pistol type alignment right there. We talked about the fact that Gordon is a guy that trusts his blockers, and that's really important. But as a running back, one of the things you also can do is set up your blockers for success by how you run and where you run. That's an important element. It's not just trusting your blockers, it's putting them in good positions for you so that way you can run the ball well. So this play is a good example of that. What the Dolphins are going to do is they're going to bring 30 in motion right here pre-snap, and he's going to kick out over here. They're going to pull the backside guard to kick out the defensive end and pull the backside tackle up to the next level. Let me clear up the screen for you guys there. 89 is going to flash, work up to the next level as well. We're going to get a lot of down blocks just right here. Running back's going to counter step and then follow all the blocks in the hole. And now there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of movement going around, but Gordon does a great job setting up each and every one of his blocks for success. He doesn't put his blockers in a bad position, results in a successful run for Miami. Let's check it out. There's the motion. There's a snap. There's a handoff. There's a counter action, north and south. Good little 4 or 5 yard run in the red zone. Nothing wrong with that. Watch how Gordon sets up his blocks for success, right? He doesn't hug anything too tight. He follows the hole, and right here he goes north and south. Change of direction is hard, guys, for any back, especially in this situation. North and south, now goes laterally, now goes north and south again. Really hard to do, but it sets up his blocks for success. You can see the in-man on the line of scrimmage. Anytime you're a kick-out block like this pulling guard, the one thing you don't want to do is have this in-man think it's going to be a run inside completely the entire way and try and jump across your face and spill it. So what does Gordon do? He actually runs horizontally there, keeps this defensive end wide, sets up the block. How about the pulling tackle on the backside? He goes north and south at the very end here. He doesn't keep staying horizontally. He goes north and south to fall right off the butt off the block. It's one of those things where a lot of young running backs struggle with this. It doesn't look like much, but a lot of backs right here, even if they do a good job horizontally with that cut, they go north and south too early, they run right into 79, and they get blown up right there. Not Gordon. He does a great job for being a tall, upright runner, changing direction, setting up his blocks. Again, horizontal cut right there helps the kick out, goes wide to help the pulling tackle, and then goes north and south to finish. It isn't perfectly blocked, right? The kick out block is good. 79 does okay. Tight end gets up to the next level. He kind of misses his block. That's unfortunate there. I mean, if that's a better block, I think there's a chance he scores. But overall, this is again, good running from Gordon. It's setting up his blockers, putting him in positions to be successful.
Again, I'll talk about rushing earlier. We'll talk about his blocking so far this year. Ollie Gordon, great job blocking, in limited snaps that he has been able to do it. But the last couple of weeks, when he's been able to about 11 pass blocking snaps, when he's been used in that application, done a really good job. His average out a high 70 overall PFF grade pass blocking. He had a 75.7 grade this week, and he's had 0 pressures allowed all season. So when he's needed in the pass blocking game, about 20 snaps pass blocking this season so far, done a really great job. I'd like to see him more in those use cases as well.
All right, this is a pretty nifty concept here for the Miami Dolphins. They're going to bring 89 in motion pre-snap to kick out over here. And what they're going to do here on the play side, they're going to have the heavy tackle tight end flash to work up to the next level. Patrick Paul's going to work out. We're going to get the guard blocking out there. We're going to get the linebacker up to the next level, and the fullback is going to insert just like this. And what they have Ollie Gordon do, it's pretty creative. They have him basically kind of slow play it north and south right here and then hit the blocks just like this. It's a really creative design. I want to give credit for 31 with good patience, and then he hits the hole with authority. This is good execution. One of the things that happens when you play young running backs is that sometimes the timing is off, the execution is a little off. Ollie Gordon does a good job here with the execution of a well-designed play. Let's check it out. Pre-snap motion. There's a snap. There's a handoff. North and south. Good finish. Good run. I mean, this is beautifully designed. You can see the heavy tackle work up to the next level. Patrick Paul working out. Savai Na blocking out. Brewer getting up to the next level. Fullback inserting. But here's the thing with Ollie Gordon. He slow plays this perfectly and then follows his blocks well and hits the hole. Again, nothing, incredibly special about this, except it's just well executed. And that's one of the things when you have a young team, right? Savai Na's young. Patrick Paul's young, right? Brewer's a veteran. But obviously, a lot of these guys are younger players, certainly Ollie Gordon being a rookie. The fact of the matter is, execution has been a problem for Miami. The early part of the season, we're seeing it turn around as of late. And that's why they've got a lot of momentum and they're playing better football. And a big part of that is young guys like Ollie Gordon. Again, nothing special here. Just trusting his blockers, going north and south, finishing hard. Running maybe a little bit more upright in between the tackles than I would like. I don't mind the breakaway runs when you're trying to bounce it outside. Maybe a little bit lower pad level. But otherwise, it's just good execution. And that's what we're seeing from the Miami Dolphins, just playing good football over the past few weeks. All right, from the wide copy, get a really good look at it right here. Tight end in motion. There's the handoff. Big hole, beautifully designed play. I mean, this is just an awesome offensive structure. But again, it's well executed. It's not just what it looks like on the chalkboard, right? The X's and O's. It's having guys that execute it. 72, young guy. Patrick Paul, young guy. Ollie Gordon hitting the hole. Not hitting it too early, not hitting it too late. Slow playing it, setting up every single block, and then hitting it downhill full speed. Good execution matters, guys. It's not just about talent. It's not just about highlight plays. It's about executing the offense. It's about executing the context of what the play's supposed to do. The Dolphins O-line, the Dolphins blockers, and Ollie Gordon here do a good job of it right here. Nice play by Miami. A big reason why they're playing good ball. All right, quick break in the film review. Look, I was taught to break down film by my college coaches at the Division I level. All the players are. It's just a fact of playing football at that level. And I want to take this opportunity to give you guys, the average fan, more opportunities to get that insider knowledge of how the game is taught at that highest level of college football. I created a checklist, a step-by-step guide for you guys, 100% free. That's based on how I was taught to break down film by my coaches, and then I use today to create these film reviews. There's a link in the description box below that'll take you right to it. I really appreciate it if you guys decide to get it. Again, 100% free, just trying to share information to you guys, stuff that was taught to me by my coaches. But without further ado, let's get back into the film. All right, how about a little goal line? You can see the Miami Dolphins have the ball right about the 1 yard line. There's the goal line right there. And it's going to be just an inside run from Ollie Gordon. We're going to get a little insert right here, and he's going to lead block there. Fullback kicking out. It's just going to be a lot of double teams, power football inside. Big old mash of humanity like it is, and it's really well blocked, and Gordon's able to score right here. But one of the things I want to see Gordon improve on in these situations, and I talked about a second ago, in between the tackles, is getting his pads down a little bit. He's a good upright runner, a lot like Mostert. I think there's a lot of favorable comps there. But in the goal line, in the red zone, in between the tackles, brother, get your pads down a little bit. Just something to improve on for the young runner. Let's check it out. A little motion inside. There's a snap. Good vision. Touchdown. Again, he attacks the hole hard. He sees the hole. Where's the hole, guys? Where is it? There it is. He hits it. Touchdown. Great vision, north and south runner. A+ on those two elements. He's just a little high. Look how tall he is running in between the tackles right there. Everyone else has a lower pad level. And look, obviously this is pretty well blocked and really good vision right here by the young back. So all of that is outstanding from Ollie Gordon. But the reality is just get a little lower, man. Lower your pads, get your shoulder down to the turf, because I think against some good teams, you're going to get pile drived, right? Now listen, the Dolphins do a little pile driving of their own. You can see the fullback inserting right here. Look at him on Bobby Wagner. Boom. That's good to see there. Brewer getting some good movement, getting some good double team action right there. Savai Nog getting blown back a little bit, but they do a little good work there. Again, goal line football is nasty, guys. It's never going to be pretty. That's why I want this young back, Ollie Gordon, here to get his pads down. Get your shoulder pads down a little bit. Still doing a good job. Again, we're talking about a minor criticism, but it's just something I want him to improve on going forward.
Yeah, one thing I think Ollie Gordon could work on, or really the Dolphins could work on using Ollie Gordon more in, I would say, is the receiving department. He didn't get any receiving looks or, no targets whatsoever the last couple of weeks, and just kind of been low on the usage this season as a whole. He only has 8 targets, 6 catches on the entire season. In college, he had a couple really good years. He almost had a 400-yard season, almost 200-yard season last year. Did a really great job, I think, in the receiving game. I think that's one place he could be utilized a little bit more. So not necessarily something Ollie Gordon needs to work on, but something I think the Dolphins could work on, getting him more involved in the receiving game.
All right, I want to end on an example of the Ollie Gordon effect and what he can add this offense. So you can see Gordon lined up right there, right next to 2 in the shotgun. You can see A-Chain all the way over there on the left side of your screen, lined up offset, obviously, lined up in kind of a split back alignment right here. And because the Dolphins ran so well with Ollie Gordon, because they have to really just handle him from defensive perspective, the Commanders, they got 2 linebackers on the field and a safety in the box. Right? They got a lot of beef on the field. They got 4 defensive linemen, even though the Miami Dolphins have them pretty spread out. Right? You can look at this from a box perspective. The Dolphins right here have what? 5 linemen and a back in the box technically, and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defenders in the box. I know we got a tight end here, and I know we got another wide receiver here, but right now, the Washington Commanders are out-leveraged, and anytime a team is out-leveraged, a lot of these safeties, a lot of these linebackers, they have to play in space and get out of there, and that opens up a lot of opportunities to attack them in the passing game, and that's what we see here. Gordon releases out this direction as a decoy. They throw it to A-Chain and a screen over the middle for a nice little play, and this is the effect of good running on the inside will deliver because of Ollie Gordon, A-Chain doing good things as well. It makes things easier for the rest of the offense, part of a formula going forward for the Dolphins. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Gordon releases. There's A-Chain over the middle. Look at the space. Down to the 1. Almost scores. You can see the Washington Commanders, right? At the snap, everyone has to bail. Everyone has to bail, right? There's so much green grass, though, to cover. And it's a nice little play for Miami. But they have to be ready inside for the run. So everyone's packed inside. Then everyone has to run out of the box, and it creates all these holes to attack. This is how the Dolphins can beat teams. Good inside running from backs like Ollie Gordon will force teams to go heavier in the box, which means guys like A-Chain and Waddle, Malik Washington as well, will have more space to operate. Because one of the things you want to do to a defense is you want to condense, and then when they expand, you want to attack the creases that show up like we see here, right? There's the crease, right? Because you can see number 6 has to get out of there. 54, who's out of the screen right now, has to get depth. Makes it easier for you to attack, to find the open spaces like we see with the Dolphins right here. Again, Ollie Gordon, nice game running the football. Like to get his pads down a little bit in the goal line area, but he's a smart runner, fast runner, good breakaway speed. He adds an element to this Dolphins offense that's playing a lot better as of late. he's a good pickup for them, undeniably so.